Hey guys, I wanted to do a video to share with you Ava's curriculum for this coming fall. She will be in second grade and she is 7 years old. So first I will show you math. We have decided to go with McGraw-Hill My Math. There is volume 1 and volume 2. And then there's also a teacher edition for, I have volume 2 right here, but volume 1 hasn't come to me yet. So the teacher edition is a must-have for me, and the reason we chose to go with a program like this is because it is Common Core. That's how she's learned math, and we think that's the best way for her to learn math, so we are sticking with Common Core. We were going to go with the program she actually used in her public school, but I did not like the homeschool version of it, so this is what we're going with, and this best way to do this here. This is what it covers in the first volume. So that is, it's like a workbook and textbook kind of all in one. So that's volume 1, and then this is what is covered in volume 2. So we have that, and then as kind of a supplement for fun, we have Beast Academy. I know I just purchased 2A because I don't know how she's going to do with it. I haven't kind of really tested her out with it yet, but I think she's really going to like this, but I do think it's more of a supplement rather than, I know some people are able to use it as a whole curriculum. I don't think we'll be able to do that. So what it is, if you're not familiar with it, is a graphic novel based math curriculum. So you read certain portions and then it directs you to pages in the practice book. And so there's things to do in here. So this is put out by The Art of Problem Solving. I've heard really good things about it, but again, some people have said it's really difficult. I don't know, but we're going to use it probably as like a fun, kind of a fun Friday break from math, but we'll see how that works for her. All right, for science, we are doing a few things. The first one is Science Fusion. And I have a teacher's edition for this as well. It's kind of the workbook and textbook all in one. And here is what this covers. Work like a scientist, technology in our world, all about animals, all about plants, environments for living things, oops. Earth and its resources, all about weather, the solar system, changes in matter, and energy and magnets, and 21st century skills, technology and coding. And it's really colorful. The lessons are really nice. I think it will be a good fit for her. So that we're using that for science, and then we're also, oh, and like I said, I have the teacher manual for that as well. Then we're also going to be using this Ada Lace series. Ada Lace is a 3rd grade scientist and inventor extraordinaire. And there's always a mystery she has to solve in each of these books, and she uses science in some way to solve them. They're written by the host of Exploration Outer Space, and they're just a really fun book. We got the first one for Ava for Christmas, and I went ahead and picked up the rest of the series, and then I'm writing kind of a curriculum to go with that. It's not done yet, but I'll share it with you when it is. So we have that as well. And then lastly, I purchased Early Elementary Science Education because I'd heard such great things about it. But I also really liked Science Fusion. So I'm going to see if there are places where this overlaps with Science Fusion. I haven't spent a whole lot of time with it yet, but I think there will be some places that overlap, so I'm going to be doing some work with this. This is designed, I think, to be a 2-year program, and it's supposed to be phenomenal as far as the way it teaches scientific method. So we are going to see about using this in addition, but we have it, so we'll see how that goes. All right, let's see what we have next. Okay, for history, geography, social studies, all of that, the first thing we have is from Pearson. It's called My World Social Studies. We do our part. This is their 2nd grade curriculum. There's also a teacher manual for this. And this is another one that's kind of like workbook and textbook all in one. I like having a book like this just to make sure I'm hitting all of the areas that I would like to be hitting with her. So this is what it covers. Go into culture, how we celebrate, life then and now, the first Americans, all of that stuff. So, and again, it's really colorful. And it really touches on a little bit of everything. But I also wanted kind of a full history curriculum as well. So what I decided to go with was this, just a moment. Okay, so for a full kind of history curriculum and a little bit of geography as well, we decided to go with the Curiosity Chronicles. And this is a program that you can, it was relatively reasonably priced, I thought. There's a lot of different packages that you can purchase for this one. This is the snapshots of ancient history. They have several different ones to choose from. This was kind of like their first one, and so it's, I think, probably recommended for 1st grade. We're going to use it because I want to start kind of in the beginning, which is where this starts with ancient civilizations. And what did I want to say? Oh, so there's different packages that you can purchase on their website. I purchased all downloads, and then I just printed them myself, and I took them to Office Max and had them bound. But it is, I'll just read you kind of a little bit here. It says, this book is intended to serve as a child's first introduction to history and is targeted at elementary children. It's written with the homeschooling family in mind. The book is 36 chapters long so that it can be completed in a traditional 36-week school year by reading 1 chapter a week. There's also an audio version of this available as well that has 2 readers, 2 people reading, because the whole curriculum is like a dialogue back and forth between these 2 kids. We purchased that as well, so I think we'll be listening to it. Let's see. The aim in writing it is not to provide a complete and rigorous telling of history, but to provide quick snapshots of different moments and people in history. Events are told in order, and a timeline is provided to help keep things in perspective. The book is written in a dialogue between 2 characters. Like I said, I think it's Ted and Mona. Yeah, Ted and Mona. The dialogue serves to keep the text conversational and accessible for children. Let's see. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. Everyone's raves about Story of the World, and that just was not a good fit for us. And I feel like this is like the secular version of that in a way. It is intended to be secular. It does not present a religious worldview. So there you go. Anyway, here's the table of contents. And then it starts in with chapter 1. And like I said, I don't know that we're going to read it so much. We'll look at the pictures, I think, and we'll listen to the audio version that we purchased, because I think that'll just be more fun and it'll save my voice. So there's a lot of great pictures in here. The other great thing about it is you can purchase the instructor's activity guide to go with it. Again, I just did the PDF and I printed it out and took it to Office Max and had them spiral bound it for like, I don't know, $3 or $4. They give you sample schedules for different ways you could use the curriculum. And then it goes basically through, it gives you some comprehension questions, what do you think questions, vocabulary words, timeline, map work, reading suggestions. Or reading suggestions are really fantastic. A hands-on activity. There's several hands-on activities. And then you go into the next chapter, which is the same thing. And probably the part I like the most, well, I like the audio a lot, but is there's a student guide, which basically is like a workbook. And again, I just did the PDF. So they've got their vocabulary words to work on. They have a comprehension question. Actually, it looks like 3 of them. What do you think questions? They have a timeline. There's a separate timeline download that you can, I think you purchase that one separately. And then there's map work here. There's a little fun activity here. Here's the map for your map work. And if there's any activity pages, those are there as well. And then it goes on to chapter 2. So I really like that it includes that. There's just a lot of good stuff in here. There's also in many of them, I think it's in the instructor's guide. Let's see if I can find it. There's some Minecraft. Oh, here we go. There's some Minecraft tie-ins. So here they ask you to build a basic farm in Minecraft. First build a home for the farmer to live in. Remember that the ancient Mesopotamians didn't have very much stone or wood available to them, so you're building it kind of time appropriate. So there's Minecraft I see in a lot of them, and then I also saw some Lego ones as well. So that's kind of a cool tie-in as well. And Ava doesn't play Minecraft, but she might now. But anyway, back to the student edition. There's just fun little, like the little cootie catcher activities. There are several games. I did not print the games as part of this book because they were like pages and pages of like cards to cut out and things like that. So it would have been even thicker than this. Anyway, so that is what we are going to do for history and our social studies portion. All right, so we have a lot of things for language arts and all that goes along with that. So one of the main things that we're going to be doing for grammar and vocabulary and that kind of thing is A Quiver of Arrows by Brave Writer. And I think this is a really exciting kind of, I think Charlotte Mason inspired a bit. It uses dictation and copy work. And there's a bunch of different programs that they offer, but I chose to go with this one, which you're reading aloud books like Charlotte's Web, Cricket in Times Square, House at Pooh Corner, Mouse and the Motorcycle, Mr. Popper's Penguins, Sarah Plain and Tall, Trumpet of the Swan. There were, I think, 2 other titles included, which I chose not. We're not going to do those ones. But for each book, I will show you if you're not familiar. So they'll look at some of the best opening lines. They'll punctuate the dialogue, search for synonyms, play with periods and capital letters, sing with onomatopoeia, ponder the many ways to pause, hunt for single powerful words, and create musical language with alliteration. So that's what we're going to do with this book. So as you're reading it, we have the famous opening line. They tell you why they like that passage, things that you should be noting about the passage, how to teach the passage, and then what you're going to do with that passage each day of the week. So I think it sounds like a fun way to learn some of those language arts skills. So we have this. and I have the books to go along with it. In addition to that, because I wasn't sure if that was enough, we also purchased Growing with Grammar, Level 1, and Soaring with Spelling and Vocabulary, Level 1. I purchased Level 1 and Level 2 because I wasn't sure which one she would need. I think Level 1 is where we'll start. And I think she'll like these because they're not real, not a ton of work. So each lesson looks like it's just the front and back of one page. So we have those. What else? Okay, for phonics, we have Explode the Code. I don't know where she is with phonics just yet. We decided not to do All About Reading, even though I really love it, because I had her take the online test and she tested out of all of them. So I'm not even sure that we need some of this stuff, but I just want to make sure that our bases are covered, that she does know it. So I went ahead and got Explode the Code 4, 5, 6, and 7, I believe. The other 3 aren't here yet. So I'll figure out where she is in these, and we'll use one of those. And then a teacher friend of mine recommended Words Their Way, the word study notebook. Again, I'm not quite sure where she is, but I really like these. I think she'll like them because they do something similar to this in her class now. But basically, you cut out all the words, and then you sort them based on whatever it tells you to sort them by. And then there's like a little writing activity on the back of each page. So I purchased C and D, and I think I have actually B for her to try this summer. But that's what we have for that. Hey guys, I need you to go to the other room. Okay, my kids have reached the melting down portion of the day, so I'm gonna need to speed this along. For handwriting, we are sticking with Xander Bloser because that's first of all the style of handwriting that they do in her school. And we have 2M for her to do this summer, and she really wants to learn cursive. So this starts off with kind of a review of print, and then it moves in, I don't know, partway through, it moves into cursive. So that's what she'll be doing for handwriting. Creative writing, this before we decided we were going to homeschool, I purchased this book because I wanted to do some writing fun stuff with her this summer. Since we've decided to homeschool, I'm just going to save this and use this in the fall, but it's a great book. It's called Writer's Toolbox. You learn how to write letters, scary stories, poems, fairy tales, journals, and reports. And it's got beautiful illustrations. And let's see if I can show you here. So this one's about writing your own fairy tale. And it's telling you the fairy tale, and then it's giving you the tools as they appear in the fairy tale. So anyway, I'm excited for that. I think it's really cool. And it reviews the tools at the end, and then it gives you some exercises and writing tips to get started. So I think that will be a lot of fun. And then, like, that wasn't enough. She's actually using this already, but I really want to just have her reading as much as possible. She's a really great reader, and I just want to keep that up. The one problem we have in the school right now is that she's already at probably a 3rd grade reading level, although we're having trouble getting assessments. But anyway, neither here nor there. She was really not growing much in her reading because she was already past where she needed to be. And I don't want her to be stagnant. I want her to keep moving. So we got this really fun little book journal. It's called Take a Bite Out of Every Book. And let's see, I think she filled in some personal information here, so let me get past that. So anyway, here's what it looks like basically. You write the date, the title, the author, the child rates it, the parent rates it, And then they mark whether they read the whole thing by themselves, whether they read and listened, or they listened the whole time. And then they write a little kind of review or something that they liked about the book. And then these sections down here, they get to rip off as they read. Feed me a story, nibble on nonfiction, books for breakfast. So anyway, it's just a place for them to keep track of all the books they've read. On the back of every page that they fill out, there's some kind of activity that they can do. Like this one, they had to draw a superhero outfit on the bookworm, or write a new vocabulary word that they learned, draw something from the story, etc. So we have this for her, and then as you may have seen in a lot of the hauls that I've done, we have a lot of read-alouds for her that I've picked out, some she's picked out, and there will be more. Not read-alouds for her. I will be doing some read-alouds, but for her independent reading. So let's see. This is a one I will be doing. We have the Penderwicks, which I started to read aloud, but I think I'm going to let her start to read this one herself. We have Ralph S. Mouse. This is a read-aloud. Ranger in Time. This kind of goes along with our history, as do these ones. This I thought would kind of be a fun little extension of the history, Goddess Girls. And if she likes this, we can get more from the library. We have the whole Zoe and Sassafras science series. And she picked some boxcar children books that she wanted to read. Several Magic Treehouse books that go with what we're working on. Oh, and even more. Stuart Little. This will be a read aloud for part of our language arts. Oh, that's another read aloud, read aloud, read aloud. These will be independent reading for her. The World According to Humphrey, Secrets According to Humphrey, and more in the Greetings from Somewhere series. So again, we will add those, plus she'll have the Ada Lace books, but I plan to have some independent reading worked into our day, every day. And like these Magic Treehouse books, she finishes these in like 30 minutes. So some days she's going to completely finish a book during independent reading. That's why I have so many. But we also will supplement with the library. I just wanted to have a good selection here at home that kind of went along with some of the things that we were going to be learning about. So that is, I think, everything for language arts and everything connected to it. Let's move on to, let me see here. Oh, this is, I think, something we're going to try to do together with Wyatt as well. I'm not sure. We'll have to see how that goes. I will do a video on his curriculum. He is 4, but I think we're going to start kindergarten. Some kindergarten level stuff with him because he's ready for it. But anyway, we're going to do Song School Latin. I found this program on Amazon, I think. It comes with a CD of music. And it's basically all music based to learn Latin. And I thought that would go along well with our ancient civilizations, and it would also just be a good language to start with to kind of pave the way for more languages in the future. Okay, a few additional things that we're going to be doing. Some nutrition. This is all free materials that I got from the USDA. So we'll be using that. We have the Good and the Beautiful's Nature Notebook. So we'll be using that for some nature studies and a little bit of art as well. Let's see, for music, we have a keyboard, so we have learning to play the piano for the very young that we're going to work through. And somewhere we have a recorder, although she has temporarily misplaced it. We got this recorder, book 1, Method for Young Beginners. I believe, I can't remember now, I think I got this from Rainbow Resource or Christian Book. I don't remember which. And then we also have Can You Hear It? the Metropolitan Museum of Art. It's a book and CD. More than 40 details and 26 works of art and music. So you listen to the CD and you look at the work of art, and then there's things over here to look for and to listen for. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And then also for music, we have this music games. It's ages 7 and up, the most fun way to learn music theory. And again, Rainbow Resource, I think, is where I got this from. So that is that. But wait, there's more. This is going to be a really long video. I apologize. For art, one of the things we're going to be using is the Usborne First Book of Art. I really like that this book breaks art down by faces, animals, stories, weather, flowers, places, patterns, so we can study several artists that have a common theme in their artwork and do some projects based on that. So like the one in here on animals, we might do a cave art study with or something to tie in with our history. But I just think there's a lot of fun art appreciation and other things that we can learn from taking projects from here. Before I decided on our ancient civilizations, I had purchased Yellow Spot Sun's Color Theory with the Impressionists. I don't know now if we're going to use this year or not. I think I may tie a lot of our art into the history curriculum, so we'll have to see. But I did purchase, I don't know where it went now, just some drawing things to help her with her drawing technique in her nature notebooks and things like that. I don't know where I put it. Oh, here it is. So we have this one, which is Sketching Stuff Activity Book. And it really kind of has a lot of good information about learning to sketch. And shoot, there was one more. Our library also offers homeschool art programs, so we'll see. But that's to get us started. Okay, almost done. We're going to do safety from The Good and the Beautiful, minus the God Gave Me a Body. I'll do my own. We will still be covering that. We would like to stay secular in most of our stuff, so I'll just be substituting my own lesson for this one. But the rest of it looked good to me. And this is probably something I'll be doing with both kids. Then I also purchased The Good and the Beautiful's Typing 1. Ooh. So Ava will be doing that as well. And I just printed these out and put them in a binder. So she'll be doing typing. At some point, probably during like our morning time, we'll be talking about different character traits. It's hard to find character trait books that are secular, but this one looked good. We're going to give it a try. It's The Adventures of Meili and Keela, a virtue book for children. It did not come spiral bound. I just really like my book spiral bound. So this has a bunch of different stories in it, and then it tells you the character traits that were talked about in the story and gives you like some talking points and things like that. So we are going to work with that. I also have What's Your Second Grader Needs to Know. Again, I had a spiral bound. So we will reference this if I feel like we need it. Another thing that we're going to be doing is the Dave Ramsey's what is this one called? Junior's Adventures. Anyway, it's the Dave Ramsey kind of money program for kids. Financial Peace Junior, it's called. And it comes with an activity book for the student. And it comes with a guide for the parents. It comes with the give, save, and spend little envelopes. There's a chore chart, like little magnetic board, dry erase, and little magnetic chores you can put on there. All right, so that is most of the curriculum. It is, I am totally aware, probably way more than we need. And as I kind of assess her and we start the year, we may get rid of some stuff or we may add some stuff. I don't know. We'll have to see. I did want to show this real quick. We had planned on using Around the World with Picture Books. Again, I had it spiral bound. And we may still use this where it overlaps with our ancient civilizations. But it's not going to be our main focus. I did get a teacher planner from Michael's, and I really like it. There are some things I'll have to figure out how to adapt for homeschool, but I like that it's got month at a glance, and then lesson planning pages in the back, so that will be good. And then I also have working on a binder for myself. This is my notice of intent. Luckily in Ohio, all we really have to do is send in a notice of intent, and then we either have to have an assessment or a standardized test each following year. So I have that I still need to fill out. I have some benchmarks for Wyatt, and then I have a whole stack of our state standards and some other standards I found that I liked. But basically for Ohio, you have to give it an assurance that you have a college degree, or the person who's going to be doing the homeschooling has a college degree, and that you will cover certain subject areas, and that you will school. Ours is 900 hours, I believe, for the year. So anyway, I've just got some of that information in here to help me. So these are my little kind of teacher helps. Anyway, that is everything. This is a really long video, so I apologize for that. But if you have any questions, let me know. And then I will be doing a separate video probably next week on Wyatt's pre-K/kindergarten curriculum. Bye-bye.